Hello.
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 How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am well, thank you.
That's good. You guys have too much fun on this show, man.
We like to have fun.
I just want to give a big cheers to everybody sitting on the couch.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh,
And to Adam, not on the couch.
hey.
Yes. Making this all happen. Thank you, Adam.
Welcome to episode 33 of the Ape Audio Podcast. I'm Christian.
I'm Ian.
I'm Kyle.
Hi, Kyle.
Hi.
Kyle's our lovely guest today. I'm sure most of you tuning in know exactly who he is. We're going to talk some shit.
Talk some shit.
I want to know about Slam Fest, dude.
Oh, yeah. That was interesting. So we had some really cool local bands, Sierra, Split Sky, and Villain, playing with Queensryche and Skid Row. I thought I was fortunate enough to work alongside some really legendary bands, and let's just say things got interesting with that.
Things went awry.
Yeah, things went a little bit awry, but I mean the show went on. But
There's some good performances from the day.
yeah, I mean Sierra and Villain were absolutely incredible.
Cool.
They're both bands that I've seen multiple times. This was definitely the shortest set I've ever seen them play. They played about 15 to 20 minutes. I think Sierra has a 27-minute long song, so it was a little bit different, but that band is absolutely unreal. They played our 420 festival too at Chainsaw, and that was one of the most amazing sets of the night.
Yeah,
and
they
I
always pull a huge crowd.
Oh yeah,
and bring
they're
the cops.
yeah.
Like almost
every single time. Yep.
That bass amp, man. Robbie's bass amp.
It's so loud. They're incredible though. If you haven't checked Sierra out, they're good old Kitchener boys.
Yeah.
Check them out.
For a while.
Yeah,
Awesome.
sludge stoner metal,
Fuck yeah.
proggy as shit.
Was that like the biggest event you've kind of helped orchestrate?
I guess in a sense, my role in it was very minimal. I just run from a promotional standpoint, and I deal with the locals because I've seen people doing big events like this that don't have any local support, and I think it's vital to the community to make sure that there is local bands supporting when there's something big come through. So I was able to talk with Beyond Oz and work something out so that we could get some local bands on it. And
That's really dope. Well, actually, when I see like big festival-ish things like that coming through town, or like even like in the GTA, and they're not pulling like local talent or getting involved with like anything going on in the area, it kind of makes me feel like, who exactly is the show for? Like,
I don't know. I mean, like, I don't want us like being involved with industry and stuff. It's when I don't see support coming from the local community as far as bands playing and stuff like that. I always just immediately kind of think it's a fly-by-night thing. They're just here to come pull some of the community away from other local community events that might be happening in the area for that day, and then they disappear until it's lucrative again.
Exactly, until they can make another round or
exactly
whatever.
And then they let everyone else, like the local bands and stuff, work in the trenches every day, carving out a community in the first place for them to even be able to market to. And so like I think it's vital to have those local bands supporting big shows when they come through, because it does so much more for the community too. It makes people aware, like how many people know outside of the local music community how much is really happening here, right?
Yeah, exactly. It takes those big shows sometimes, because some people, that's how they take in like their newfound artists, is they go to live shows or they go to like concerts like once or twice a year.
Exactly. Like anything else, people consume it when it's beneficial to them and when they see it fit, right? So when a big band that's recognizable comes through, that's being pushed through mainstream media and channels that go far beyond the local music community, obviously it's going to pull a crowd that normally wouldn't be at a local show. So having that local band on it makes people go, oh shit, look at that, there's something happening here in KW, like these guys are from here, they were sick. And like it creates buzz, and it helps the entire music community as a whole too by doing it,
right? Because if there's a large scale that likes them, chances are the next show they're going to be playing is not going to be as big of a stage as that festival. So
but somebody new might come check it out, right?
Or a lot more people, so then that, like you said, helps out the community by shows being more consistently full.
Exactly.
For that artist.
Helps the venues that are supporting local shows. You know, they sell a couple extra beers and make sure they want to have local bands back, because it's a struggle. You can go down any street and there's 10 bars, right? So it's like, you know, what makes them different, what makes them popular, and it's by having a cohesive community that does that.
Exactly. Supportive.
Yeah.
Everyone's supporting each other.
Exactly.
It's cool too, like when those bands do get the opportunity to play with somebody that can put them on a bigger stage in front of eyes that might not necessarily have come across them, eyes and ears that might not have come across these bands before. And then those bands can give back to the local community as well.
Exactly.
Like just looking at Hope Fest from last year to this year, and like a ton of those bands are coming back around, but they've quadrupled like their audience reach.
Yeah, totally.
And like now it's giving like some of the smaller acts underneath them the chance that some of these bands had last year.
Exactly.
You can kind of like pull the crabs out of the bucket, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. And just putting more and more into it and growing it too, right? Like giving people a bigger headliner to play with this year, and more headliners and direct support acts and stuff like that for people to play with. And we tried to keep it like switch it up a bit, and like the locals that got to play last year to a bigger audience, a bigger stage, I put a couple of them on the pre-parties, and switched up some of the locals and brought new guys on to give them an opportunity and stuff too. So it all just kind of goes back to giving opportunities to people, and to play a bigger stage, to play to a bigger audience, and it helps everything.
Yeah, it's all about the opportunity for the artist, especially like you know, an artist never knows when they're going to get that big show that might, you know, push them over that edge in a good way.
You never know when you're going to get your next gig.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, it's not even big show all the time. It's like,
yeah,
hey,
totally.
When are we going to play next?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Just kind of sitting around waiting.
Yeah, but if you've been like a band that's been just like playing shows and you're like, man, what's it going to take, you know? Like how do you level up?
Yeah.
And then sometimes, you know, those festivals are those things that
you
know, bands have. So like, you know, you putting a lot of local acts and supporting like these big acts, like, you know, who's coming up for Hope Fest, which, by the way, congrats on that.
Thank you.
That's
I'm
huge.
Super stoked on Fucked Up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually say
I can say
here.
Fucked Up here.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I don't have to censor. Oh God.
Yeah. Too bad Adam doesn't have a soundboard. He'd probably just be like obsessively.
Honestly, it drives me nuts. Like I posted something the other day to the extent of like, you know, for a band that's so beloved by the Canadian Broadcasting Centre and being a Polaris Prize winner and being nominated again, it's such a shame that, like, you know, the censorship robots from Mark Zuckerberg and, you know, whoever's walking around the municipality ripping posters off walls because they say Fucked Up on them. Is
that why they're ripping that shit down?
My
God.
It's the only thing I can assume. Like, most of them were fully removed, and the ones that were left up have Fucked Up ripped out of
because like I was looking at some of the spots where they were like torn down, and there's like tons of other banners around them. I'm like,
I mean, today I was walking around covering up stickers that say your anxiety and depression are fake from some great group out there.
Wow,
I was
bunch
covering
of
those
sweethearts,
up, covering those up with our posters, but like, you know, those get to stay up, but God forbid we have the fuck word on a poster, you know, like
think of the children. Yeah, I saw that. I ripped. Yeah, Alan and I ripped the one on right by the meat market, like on the other side of the road. Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah,
it's fucked up.
Yeah,
it's fucked up.
There you go.
Pun intended.
Yeah. No, but that's awesome that, you know, you got a band like that to be on this Hope Fest lineup. Like, it's gonna be.
You got to see them perform too, right?
Yeah, I just saw them at Hillside, which is a really great festival. If you haven't checked that out, it's really cool. It's tucked away in a conservation area, and it's very eco-friendly. It's an environmentally conscious festival. It's just outside of Guelph.
Okay, dope.
So it's the Guelph Lake Conservation Area, and it was great. And I mean, Fucked Up seemed like the sore thumb on the bill. Like, didn't seem to fit in with everybody else, but it was so well received.
What other kinds of acts
there was a lot of folk acts, and like indie, and the guitarist from the Tragically Hip, his band was playing and stuff, and Bruce Coburn and yeah, a bunch of really cool acts. But
Oh.
and then you're going through the poster and you're like, oh, dude from the Tragically Hip's coming. Oh, sweet. These are some really cool folk acts. Fucked up. What?
Oh.
So that was super cool. And like,
So they haven't pivoted hard into being a folk band?
No. No, they are still very much a loud band.
Folked up?
Yeah, they maybe that's how we can get by the advertisements.
Yeah,
We'll say it's a folk festival and not a punk festival, and it'll be folked up and not fucked up. And maybe they'll let us advertise.
Or I saw you do a zucked up.
Zucked up, yeah. That one was fun. Photoshop Mark Zuckerberg into the band. Had to add a member. It's the only way Facebook would deem it accepable. To the
you garnering a lot of buzz around Hope Fest? Does it seem?
Yeah, it seems
hopeful?
It seems hopeful. Yeah, there's a lot of interest. I mean, between just hearing about it or seeing other people talking about it online to just the amount of people on our Facebook event for it right now, it's great. Like, it seems to be received very well.
Yeah, Exclaim did something.
Yeah, Exclaim put out an article as soon as we released it, and that was super cool of them to do.
Yeah.
So thank you, Exclaim, and whoever wrote that. Brad, thank you. Probably you.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
You're my boy, Blue.
Was there any was there any hurdles to get over for Hope Fest? Like maybe bigger challenges than you had last year?
I mean, the model from last year that I used to create the event kind of works pretty seamlessly as long as I don't change anything too drastically. The only hurdles, I mean, it's all like little behind the scenes stuff that it's like, oh, hey, I didn't like how that happened, I'm gonna fix that. But nothing too substantial. The biggest hurdle right now is honestly like letting people know that Fucked Up is playing.
Yes, Fucked Up is playing. We will scream it from the streets.
Yeah. Ad robots suck.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking garbage. I actually just I got rid of my Facebook like a week or two ago. I think I
Good
had
for
let
you,
you know.
man.
And I don't know, man. Like, I was just at this point where it's like, I'm putting these posts out to the community that's supposed to be getting them,
No,
and
one sees
it's
it.
falling on deaf fucking ears,
Yep.
man. Like,
Yeah, like people like your page for a reason, and then they don't even see what you're
exactly,
doing.
exactly.
It's
I
getting a little ridiculous.
yeah, I'm kind of lost for like how we're supposed to reach out to these people. Like,
You're
we
supposed
have
to
a
have a
product
lot of
here
money.
that is free and it of some like moderate entertainment value, and we just
Yeah.
want to get it out to the people that want to see it.
All you need is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then you just put all
Well, God
of that
knows,
money.
God knows the
into
KW
ads.
DIY scene doesn't have a lot of that.
And then it throws me off because I'm like, I have some money to put into an advertisement for you, Facebook, and they're like, nah, fuck your ad.
Yeah, right. Or like, even if you do chuck a couple dollars in, it's like you're just casting like this really wide net, and it's like, am I even hitting the kind of fish I want to pull in?
Yeah, like, I mean, there's some pretty good targeting tools you can do and stuff,
Yeah.
but like, there's so much trial and error that goes on.
Yeah, like setting up an ad is awesome, like, because there's so much flexibility in like targeting like your demographic, but the results are just like hit or miss.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta really, really target it and make sure that everything is like. It takes a lot of playing around sometimes.
Yeah, and like consistency is key. I read somewhere that's like marketing and paying for ads on like social media is more
You
of
have
a
to pay
marathon.
consistently.
Yeah, it's basically what it is. They're like, it's more of a marathon than a sprint. You can't just hope to make a
absolutely.
good ad and it's gonna,
But
make
if
your
that's the
product
case,
blow up.
I would rather them just have like a subscription model. Like, let me pay $10 to make sure these posts get out.
Well, they
there
are
every month.
listening right now.
Yeah.
So
And Mark
Definitely.
Zuckerberg,
Yeah.
your ad robots.
yeah. Oh, speaking of some crazy new wave tech that might destroy us all, did you guys see the Elon Musk press conference for his Neuralink thing?
No, I didn't.
Oh, is that the thing he wants to implant into people's
Oh,
brains?
he showed how it's going to be done. He showed the chip. He
Oh,
showed
that's
how
whacked.
he showed the robots like doing it on like
Did nobody
like
watch
a
iRobot? Like,
yeah.
you
You should
can't
watch
do
it.
that, man.
It's definitely a video that if things go.
So what is it? Smartphone attached to your?
It's like
it has like an
form
app.
brain?
AI that
Yeah.
like learns from your neural
Oh,
functions
okay,
though,
okay.
too, and grows.
You
and like,
put it like right here. They were showing it with like a 3D model. They're like they
Yeah.
cut a hole right here and they put these like things that are half the like thinness of your hair, and it like they put like
So is
a
this
few
so
like
computers can learn to like neural networking is already a thing? Is it so they can learn to function more like the human brain,
no,
or is
so
it
what
to
it
be like an
so
accelerant
your
to your
brain-
own
it's
brain?
yeah, exactly, it's that. So what he
Okay.
says is like the bandwidth that we have with our brains going to like a digital interface is like it's like going through a straw, and he
Mhm.
basically wants to like open it up like
Widen
a
that
river.
scope.
You know what I'm trying to
That's-
say?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So he
Oh, I'm out, man.
yeah. So it would, like what he said at first was more like, oh, it would be targeted towards like people who are paralyzed, like they'll be able to learn how to walk. People who are like,
Oh,
you know,
okay. Well,
like stuff like that. It'll
that's
start off
really cool if
not
you're able
like-
to do that kind of stuff.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like
What is this? A pre-order link?
a pre-order, I would like to be probed
Yeah.
by Elon Musk.
Use
BioRX.
Do you think in our lifetime we'll see the divide between like cyborg humans and then just like
Totally.
the regs?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
maybe
That's
'Cause
a
I-
terrifying. I don't even. I don't want to think about that.
I feel like right like when this because they said they're gonna put it in the first human subject by the end of next year. So if it goes well and it's like, oh, they made a paralyzed guy walk, you know, because they're able to make that connection happen. It'll be like all these geriatrics who are like superhumans now, and they're like beating the shit out of all of us just because they're like they can run super
It's
fast.
like
They're,
the cyborg guy from Teen Titans Go.
Fuck yeah,
I've never
dude! Teen
watched
Titans
that.
is the shit.
Yeah. I
Oh
watched
man,
that
I'm not the only
with
one who
my-
hasn't
my
watched
boy.
that. Damn.
It's great.
Oh, there's so
Yo,
much
I
good
feel ashamed.
music in it.
Oh man, there's some
The
like,
writing is
great
hilarious.
adult jokes.
For sure,
I
for
was-
sure.
I was watching it yesterday with my kid, and they were like playing the evil villains or whatever, and Robin's the leader, and he asks them a question as to like what evil shit should we do, you know, like what kind of stuff should we do, and Raven, which is another one of the characters, proposes the idea that they should buy politicians and news media to convince the public that their ideas are great ideas, and all of the other villains pause and tell her it's too evil, and then she crossed a line.
Dude, that is
And,
too
like,
real.
I thought that was great. And like now maybe they're gonna like call the whole cyborg thing too. You're telling me like
Yeah.
this is no man. Teen Titans is getting too real today.
Having that Simpsons effect.
Yeah,
We're just predicting everything.
the Simpsons effect's bizarre.
Yeah.
They're nuts.
Yeah. That like Trump thing with like them all like holding over, you know, like
On the escalator thing.
yeah, and then there's another one where him and some other leaders of some sort
It's like an
are
oil
like holding
seep
like
and
an
they're like they're like holding like a magical orb, right?
yeah,
Oh
Like a
yeah,
crystal
yeah,
ball.
yeah,
yeah, that one. That's so weird.
yeah.
Hey, do you guys hear
very
night
strange.
school's going away?
Yeah.
Night
What's
school.
up with that? You know anything about that? You
Uh,
got any inside scoop for us?
Not really. I think it's still gonna be a bar. and
Yeah,
stuff,
I heard
but-
like rumblings online that it's like a rebrand,
yeah,
basically.
Is
yeah.
it kind of like what they're doing with Beta? For people who don't know, Night School is like a nightclub
Yeah,
in our
it's a
in our
nightclub.
town.
And they're nice
and-
enough to let us do shows from time to
Yeah,
time.
totally. And yeah, then there's this other one that closed down called Beta, and I think that they're trying to rebrand as like a hip hop club or
Yeah,
something. I
that's-
heard about
that's
that.
what I heard too,
Yeah.
but
Which would
I
be
don't
pretty
know.
cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Actually, I was putting up posters, the ones that all got ripped down, and I heard bass music coming from there. So
Testing out the system.
yeah, so
knows?
there's definitely something going on. That's all I know.
Cool.
Yeah, I was reading about it a couple months ago in the community edition, and I don't know like if this idea is going to become the final product for what Beta is going to be, but yeah, it was supposed to be like a hip hop venue, as in
Yeah.
like all hip hop. Like during the day, there's gonna be like barbers in there giving like fresh cuts,
Oh, that'd
and
be
there's gonna be like
sick.
graffiti artists like doing work and shit, and there would be like break dance classes and blah blah blah, like
That's a
Jesus.
really
like
cool
the whole
idea.
culture spectrum
Yeah,
in like
in
one
space.
space, yeah.
that's,
That's
brilliant.
cool.
and then
That's
at
a
night
really
it would
cool
turn into
idea.
like a hip hop club.
That's a really great idea.
Sounded really dope.
Yeah.
Sounds super ambitious.
We need
Yeah.
more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man.
That's amazing.
That's what I heard. Kind of like District was trying to be. They were trying to be like a kind of like an event hall kind of place, and then I don't know. It's just kind of
More of
turned
a
into
club.
like a nightclub now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they got Flash and White Gold in there, right? So
Flash and White Gold.
Those guys
Those guys have been in it for like a while, so
they just do what
they're
they do, I
reliable.
think.
They're reliable.
Yeah, they just do what they do.
I don't even know who's doing like Phil's. Just old Jamie. Jamie. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Shock.
No, I don't think he's been there. And
I remember when I was like
10 plus years, man.
No, 10 plus years. I can't be since I was 17.
Oh yeah,
No.
okay, so like 8 years, I guess. It's like Throwdown Thursdays died,
and then he's just like, "All right, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think he's been there anyway.
Yeah.
Speaking of Throwdown Thursday, isn't Lockwood performing at the Hope
Yeah,
Fest?
yeah, the after party. Yeah, we're bringing
Yeah.
back Tell All Your Friends,
Yes.
which was like our emo night. Which, speaking of District, ran at
Yeah.
District for a little while there, and yeah, Brandon's guest DJing. So after immediately after the show, head down to Harmony, and we're gonna
Cool.
be eating burgers and drinking beers.
What
and
time is
dancing to
Hope
emo
Fest like
songs.
wrapping up around?
The main festival will be done around 11 o'clock.
Okay.
And the after party starts at 11. We'll go till 1:30.
Cool.
2 a.m.
I am so looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good time.
We've
I'm
been
stoked.
starting to try to orchestrate how we're gonna film this whole day. We got like 8 people on board to help us film.
Excellent.
Yeah. Got a whole team assembling.
Yeah, man.
Excellent.
Should be fun.
Yeah, man.
What's like the most exciting part about putting on a festival like this?
For me, it's like just pulling it off, kind of like the whole day of, once you get past all the anxiety of putting together a festival and like all the running around and organization, when you turn around and look at a room full of people watching something you've created, and you're looking around and going like, holy shit, like there's a room full of
Yeah.
people here that don't know me, I don't know, but we're all here having a
connected
great
through
time.
this common
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, and like you get to look at it in the same way with like you guys writing music and like
Yeah.
anything like that. It's like, man, I created this and like somebody's enjoying it. So
Yeah.
for me, it's 100 people, 700 people. It's doesn't matter. You pack a room for anybody and you look at it and you're like, man, that's awesome. Like,
Yeah,
you
man.
get- you get
I would
stoked for the
assume
artists,
I would
too.
assume it's like
Yeah.
similar to
Wow.
that feeling where you throw like a raging house party and you manage to keep it all under control and like nothing's
somehow
burning
the cops
down.
never show
Yeah,
up
yeah.
and like you clean up in the morning and like get
Yeah.
away with it somehow. Like,
Like
Yeah.
the host is rarely having fun.
Yeah.
Like there's like little fragments of the night where you're like, nice. Okay, cool.
This
And then
is
once
cool.
it all wraps up and you start getting those messages like, dude, that was fucking wild. And you're like, hell yeah.
yeah,
I did that.
something
This is my
sick.
baby.
Yeah, exactly. And like, going on to like social media and looking at like the hashtag after the show and stuff and just seeing videos from different people's perspectives.
Dude,
of
after
what they saw
420
and
Fest,
stuff. It's so
So many
cool.
people were just gushing and I'm like, this
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I didn't
so
even have
cool.
anything to do with this, and like I'm so happy for everybody
Oh
who helped
yeah,
organize
that
it.
was insane. Like, yeah, that was like the most wild day. Like me and Chris, and Stacy and Brian, like everyone involved. I don't think anyone stopped moving. For
Yeah, you
about
guys were
12
running around
hours.
like crazy.
Yeah.
Is there any way you can like, is that like a guaranteed thing that happens like at any festival? You're like running pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shit happens. Like at one point, like I ended up like puking and running down the street because I had sprinted all the way from Patent Social to Harmony Lunch to grab PA speakers and started sprinting all the way back halfway across uptown carrying these speakers, and like at this point I hadn't eaten yet in the morning and was just like stressed out, and then the overexertion is just like, oh no. But
Holy
like
shit.
happens, right? And like
Now
when
you're
it's a
alive.
DIY festival and it's it's not this massive thing where you have a team of 100 volunteers and people working underneath you, and it's just like you and a small group of people that you've worked with before and that you know how they work and can trust, and like that kind of stuff. It's a lot. Like there's no real way to not be going and checking on everything and making sure things are okay, and
Yeah.
little things too. It's like, oh shit, like these guys are about to start. I'm gonna go make sure they have water. And
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Just little things.
Yeah,
you know,
like things you wouldn't even think of,
Yeah.
right? It's
things beyond like, oh, are the mics set up and is everything like set?
Yeah,
up
you
in
got
terms
your
of
sound
that?
guys there
Yeah.
for that, and they're making sure like they do an amazing job and make sure that the bands are ready to go and all that kind of thing. But it's like, little details that people might miss and things that really only people that have run events and dealt with bands and just kind of been in bands and know that's like, hey, these guys need this kind of thing for it, and I don't think that's there. I better go check. Or,
Yeah.
the smallest stuff, it's almost unavoidable.
Do you think like the team that you're having now that you're kind of having more of a consistency in like the festivals that you're involved in, do you find that you're having like a growing team, or do you find that there's certain people wanting to contribute a little bit more?
Yeah, it's growing. Like the amount of interest in being able to take part, the amount of available positions to really take part hasn't changed in that much, because the scope of the festival, in a grand scheme of things, it's still contained within the same venue. It can still only grow to be so big within Maxwell's and within Night School for the Hope Fest house party, right? So the number of positions hasn't really changed, but the number of people that have kind of reached out and been like, hey, if you need anything, I would love to help out. Like, that's
Awesome.
definitely increased, because just as the word gets out there and stuff too, right? As like something that is a legitimate festival and a legitimate thing to come to in KW.
Awesome.
And that's absolutely amazing. I can't stress how much I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's crazy what can happen in like 10 years. You look back on it and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Obviously these were my
insane.
ambitions, but to think that the call comes to life is it's almost like that's what it's worth that, when you see that, like you were saying before, like kind of being almost like a fly on the wall of the festival.
Glass,
and then you kind of just see the band playing, the crowd interacting. You just see that whole like energy and that connection going, and there's people over there and they're just like talking. There's people meeting for the first time. There's bands meeting each other for the first time, whatever.
Oh yeah,
and
it's
then
like
that whole thing just at once. It's like, okay, like
I should do that. I should just like open a thing and be like, tell me your Hope Fest story.
Yeah.
Like, tell me a Hope Fest story, because that always is like the coolest thing to me. Just being like, I met a new friend there. Hey, I have a new girlfriend because I met them there.
Yeah, totally.
Like, oh, I heard this band for the first time, and they were like now my favorite band. And
I started a band for the first time. Or
I started a band because of this festival. Like, if you have any cool stories or know anyone that does, like, seriously send them to the Have Hope page, because that would be amazing.
Dope.
Yeah.
I think that was like the kind of info we wanted to like dig from people too, like while we're out filming during the day.
Yeah.
Just like get some like real interaction, some real feelings about what's happening like right there, right now.
Yeah,
like,
I love the way you guys did the 421. That was awesome. It was like one of the first times I had that perspective in like a video that I could have.
Cool.
And that was super, super cool to see and be like, hey, that's out there now.
We're so glad that you liked it, because you're basically the person we made it for. Like,
thank you.
We make this shit for essentially the bands and the people making this shit happen around the city.
Oh, thank you guys so much.
So
that was great. If you haven't checked it out, go through and check out their 420 recap, because
it was a fun time.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's one of the most fun videos I've ever had come out of one of my shows. It's fantastic.
And if you go to Hope Fest, which you will, we'll be out there as well, and we'll be I guess you heard it here first. We'll be trying to document your Hope Fest experiences.
Yeah. So look for them out there too.
Yeah.
Say what's up and say thank you.
You'll see Kyle running around. Hopefully you'll be maintaining your sanity. Please eat something.
Yeah, I'll eat. I'll make sure.
Yeah.
What do you drink? What kind of drinks can people buy you to show their appreciation?
What kind of drinks? Coffee.
Hey, there you go.
Because I think last year I probably drank a liter of it by noon.
Oh my god,
like,
dude!
I went through like probably more actually. How big's an extra large? That's almost a liter, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't drink
liter?
coffee.
I don't know, Adam. Get on it. How much
How big's
is
an extra
in
large?
Yeah.
It's 20.
How big?
Talking to my fans.
How big
20
is in
ounces,
an extra
isn't
large
it?
coffee?
It's 20 ounces, right?
How much? Yeah, sure.
20 ounces.
How big is an extra large pizza? Oh wow. 20 ounce.
What's
Previously known as the extra large.
Just a 24 ounce cup.
Man,
Let's see what we got here. I'm looking for milliliters. 20 ounces. How much is an ounce?
Do we have the metric conversion?
Yeah. Well, let's just put it this way. If it's a 20 ounce, it's not 750 milliliters. Because I know it's 750 milliliters is a 26er.
Yeah.
There we go. So it's less than a liter. If it's less than 750.
The more
There
you
we
know.
go. There we found it out. Figured this out. All right.
I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
Or a bunch of things, but
Okay.
one thing in specific.
One more thing.
Do you think that you could, we collectively could ever take the Tri-Cities and like make it a huge music place? Like,
Oh, hell
there's
yeah.
a lot of shit going on, but do you think you could take it to like a national level where people go like,
Definitely.
oh yeah, there's like a lot of artists coming out of that
Oh
area.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge, our population is bigger than London.
That is true.
And when you look at London, Ontario, and you look at Toronto, those are your two meccas, kind of, in
For
Ontario,
like arts and
right
stuff
now,
like that.
right? Yeah, and
performing arts.
exactly, and they like our population's bigger. It's just a matter of coming together and
Right,
and
yeah, I was gonna
actually
say like
recognizing-
sometimes the Tri-Cities do like to do like a bit of infighting, you know? Like,
yeah.
oh no, like Waterloo's the shit, man. Like that's
Yeah.
where it's going
It's like,
on.
Man, it's
Kitchener's
a
a dump.
25, 30-minute drive from wherever you are in the region to wherever you want to go
Right,
in
right.
the regions. Like, if it's you want to go to Cambridge to KW, KW to Cambridge, we need more of that, you know.
Some harmonious
It's a
relationship.
little bit more spread out in London than London, and I get it for
Right.
that kind of thing. But yeah, the Tri-Cities as a whole definitely has the potential to be, and like, there's already so much great music that's coming out of here, and so
Yeah.
many great music events that are coming out of here. Like, I mean, what the Kitchener Blues Fest is like 30,000
Hell
people
yeah.
every
Yeah.
year, and they've been around for what 25 years or
Mhm.
something like that now.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you know, we have the jazz festival that just happened, and that's pretty cool that like jazz music's still happening. If we can
Oh,
have jazz
totally.
and blues music still happening and like still bumping like the way it does, I mean, modern music coming into the region should be able to
True.
be
True.
massive.
Yeah, exactly. If you
You
get,
know?
we've already shown the potential of like, well, even larger scale festivals like, you know, Big Music Fest. I know that
Oh,
was
yeah.
kind of
There's,
whatever,
like,
but at the
Ever
same
After
time,
for the EDM kids and
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit
So
is
we-
wild,
like,
dude.
those
People
are nuts.
flying
Yeah.
in from
Yeah.
all over the
Oh,
place
we had
all
to
over.
come to
Yeah.
Kitchener, and I'm like,
And we met
You
people
got the
from,
right
like,
place?
Finland and Sweden
Yeah,
and
that's
France when
nuts,
we were
man.
there, and like it's crazy to think like, wait, you're coming to Kitchener,
Right.
Like, every hotel is booked solid for those massive festivals when they come through here, and like
exactly.
people come from all over the place. Even Koi Music Festival, like Koi Music Festival had people from all over the world
That's
come
true.
to that.
That's true.
At its peak, and even Hope Fest last year, we were selling tickets in Halifax. You know, people were coming from Nova Scotia to come to our small little local community festival, and like that blows my mind. So
Maybe it's
there's the
weird-
potential for sure.
maybe it's weird to think about it because we're in the city.
We're here and we see everything that's going on
Right.
because we're involved with the scene.
That's
right?
true.
So it's weird to think that any band coming out of our scene has the potential to just all of a sudden be like overnight. Like,
That's true.
I mean, who would have thought some kid sitting out front of a Long and McQuaid playing an acoustic guitar would one day be the biggest
International
Ash-
superstar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Stratford,
Mhm.
Stratford,
Yeah,
mhm.
Ontario, Justin Bieber. Like,
That is true.
You know what I mean?
What are the
Like,
chances?
if some kid out of Stratford can be the biggest international superstar in 20 years, who's to say that Kitchener can't be the next Mecca?
That is true.
Yeah.
And there are definitely a ton of artists coming out of here
Yeah.
where you listen to some of their material and you're like, it is ready for
Oh,
that
yeah,
stage. Like
absolutely.
it's ready to just like kind of
Absolutely.
take over the world.
It's just hard sometimes to compete and get onto that international stage.
For sure.
I mean, like, those artists have millions of dollars thrown at them
Right.
for advertising and getting their name out there, right? So it's a matter of encouraging people to look, because the amount of music coming out of here, I mean, I did over 100 shows last year in Kitchener-Waterloo. It's like that's different bands coming through every week, 3 nights a week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the local bands there to support them. So there's so much music here that it can support that, right?
Exactly.
Like that, the amount of music that's coming out of here, and that's just what I know.
Yeah, well, here's the
and
thing,
I don't
right?
know
So
I don't claim to know everything that's happening here, right? Like
Yeah.
there's bands that message me, and I'm like, "You're from KW? Oh, cool. Let's do something."
yeah,
'Cause,
we've
like,
had a couple
Yeah.
bands too where it's like, I've never heard a rumbling of you whatsoever, and
Yeah.
they're sending me like a Spotify link, and I'm like, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's coming from people that are already seeking it out. Like, there's so much out there that it's incredible, and I encourage people to, like, you know, hop off the radio for a few minutes, and like, even if it's like radio friendly music that you like, look for that genre
Sure.
and look for an artist from your area.
Well,
and
I'm
just try it.
currently, over the past 3 or 4 months, I've been compiling some playlists of
Oh,
just local musicians and like putting them into subcategories for
Yep.
like different amounts of listenability depending on the demographic that I would share it to.
Absolutely.
Because like ever since we started this, like I have people that they're not really interested in like the local scene or even much music in general, but they're like, oh hey, like you talk to like a lot of bands from around here, like what can you recommend? And I
Yeah.
want to just be able to be like, check this playlist out. They're
Here's
all
something.
from around
Yeah,
here.
exactly. That's amazing. I'm glad you're doing that. Please share it with me.
I will. Yeah, I'll make
I
sure it goes
definitely wanna
public
hear
once it's
that,
finally
yeah. You're making
tuned.
that on Spotify?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
Perfect. Send me that link. I'll share that too.
Yeah, okay, for sure,
that's,
man.
That's a brilliant idea. I like that.
I think also part of it though about the whole grand scheme of things is venues need to utilize like independent artists, not like no label artists. I just mean like artists that like create their own music, like original artists, rather than like I've seen enough bars like everywhere that I know their thing is like to have like local artists, but if you just had a local artist that wasn't a cover band, like maybe sometimes like
throw a curveball in there once in a while.
Yeah.
Even if you're having a cover band, let an original band open or something.
Yeah,
Give
exactly.
them, that's a cool idea too, because it's hard for anyone playing original music. It's the same way any original art is hard to get out there, right? Like,
Definitely.
It's the struggle is real.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think if venues utilized just like artists that were like touring around and being like, hey, like we're a venue that you can use on your tour.
Yeah. Regardless of what it is.
Yeah, there will be lots of artists who will want to play on whatever
Absolutely.
day. Trust
like,
me,
whoever
it's like
thought
that kind
Harmony
of.
would, we're doing shows 3 nights a week in Harmony Lunch. Like,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a little diner that's been around since
30s or whatever.
1930.
Yeah.
And like, now it's one of the most happening quote unquote punk bars in the city.
Yeah,
totally.
totally.
It
It's
actually makes
nuts.
me giddy when I think about it. I'm just like,
Yeah.
fucking Harmony Lunch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
during the day, it's like sweet little old ladies
Yeah,
like eating
man.
pork burgers and
Yeah,
hanging out. And then
yeah.
I come in and like start moving tables. They're like, oh, okay, what's happening tonight? We're like, well, we're doing a punk show, we're doing a metal show, whatever it happens to be. And they're like, oh, right on. And like the amount of people that actually like come in or like, I'm just getting a burger, and then end up coming and being like, how much is cover, and staying for the night and stuff is super cool.
Yeah, for sure.
like-
It's funny too. Like, there's been a few times I've been out there, and like, yeah, just regular people will like pop in during the
Check
show,
it
and
out whatever.
yeah, they're kind of looking around, like, well, I'll just get my food and I'll just hang out. and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like most times when people come in and they're like, oh, I was just coming to grab a burger, we're like, yeah, go ahead, grab your burger and whatever. And like most times they just grab it and head out.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
like, once in a while somebody's like, this is fucking awesome. Like, I'm gonna stick around. I had no idea that this was happening here, and like,
Yeah,
that's
it's just
super
like one
cool.
of those weird things where, I mean, of course, like amongst us, like it's quickly becoming like the happening spot.
It's normalized.
Yeah, yeah,
to
totally.
Punk in a diner. It's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
hey, if you
awesome.
think about it though, like in the 50s and stuff, they would have had rock bands and like
Yeah,
that
for
kind
sure.
of stuff in like the old diners and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a throwback to that, I guess, in a way. I mean, I don't think Harmony ever did in particular, but lots of diners did. So
Yeah, that's super cool.
yeah, it's
I
like
love how it happens
it's
like
a throwback like that.
that. Yeah, and then you see like sometimes at these Harmony shows, like people will walk by and then they'll just walk in and then they'll just be like they'll just
The
poke their
amount
head
of
in.
people that just like walk by and like
Yeah.
stare like what the fuck is happening is great. I love it. That's like one of my favorite things because you just see people walk by and it's like half those people have never heard of Harmony or have seen a punk show in the area or like a DIY show of any sorts, and they're just
why are all those
walking
guys
by
sweating
and they're like,
in
what's
there?
going on? And they're like, all of a sudden a new person knows about events happening and knows about Harmony Lunch. And it's super cool. It's like I love those big garage doors, man.
Yeah, man, it's free
Yeah.
advertising.
It's great.
for sure.
Yeah.
It's
Especially
super
when
cool
they're nice
that
and
way.
open. Yeah. It's awesome. And there's just so many people that are like around there because of like the surrounding bars where like people are just like walking around and then they'll just pop their head in or they'll like come in for a little bit and
Check
just like
it
have a
out.
beer. 'Cause sometimes they're like, oh, I just want to like drink a couple beers, and then they just sit there and then you'll just see like some guy in like a dress shirt like moshing and you're just like,
They
this
know
guy
a new
just
band.
popped
Well-
in for like one band.
What show was it? I think it was the battle that just happened, the Hope Fest Battle of the Bands. We had two guys come in from the Perimeter Institute
Yeah,
that
yeah.
had never been to a show before. And
Yeah.
like not
that-
even 5 minutes into it, these like two physicists were in the pit like moshing
What?
and having
Yeah.
the greatest time.
I think that's pretty much what
Yeah.
I was referencing. Like I could do in a dress shirt,
Yeah,
just like hopping
super
around in the
cool,
pit,
man.
and you're just kind of like,
There was,
I
Uh,
understand the physics behind this.
Yeah, there's like in the recap video, they're in the recap video in the middle of a big mosh pit happening in there, and like it was
Dude,
awesome.
that's so
It
fucking
was
rad.
super cool. I was just like, oh, we're just from the Perimeter Institute coming to get a burger. Like, go on in, man.
Yeah.
Like waiting
Like
for the not even before the burger came. They were in the pit. It was,
Yeah,
like,
I guess
excellent.
that is like a funny aspect to it as well because Harmony's been around for so long, and specifically their burgers are kind of like really infamous
Yeah.
in the area. So it's not uncommon to see Harmony being written about on like foodie blogs and like
Yeah.
posted on Instagram and
yeah,
shit. So like just imagine like you drive down from wherever, like Scarborough or like way up north, and you're like, yeah, I want to go check out Harmony Lunch while I'm down here, and you just pop in and it's just like going off the
just going
fucking
off
wall.
the chain. This is your last fucking chance.
This is
We have
your
a
last
hardcore
fucking
show
burger.
with some like full out rave going on. Like, yeah. Those are fun.
I love that vibe. It's awesome. Never expected it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
yeah.
It's super cool that way.
some venues are opening up too, like Chainsaw is.
Yeah, Chainsaw is
and
awesome. Brian
yeah.
does a ton of stuff down there. And it's,
That's
like,
super cool.
He's the man. Shout out Brian.
Shout
Yeah.
out. What
Ryan.
what kind of changes do you see coming to like the local scene? Do you forecast any waves coming our
Do I
way?
forecast any waves?
Yeah. Do you anticipate any trends? The upcoming third quarter.
Lately, there's been a lot more like punk bands coming out
Yeah.
from the area and like punk rock and stuff like that. Not nearly as many metalcore and metal like that side of metal. The long hair metal as Brian
Subsided
and
for now.
have said those guys are still around. Those guys,
Oh, yeah.
those guys ain't going anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Reference Tenacious D, the metal. But yeah, a lot more like synth sort of influenced and 80s sort of influence.
Yeah, like
music
some
coming out
bedroom
lately,
pop,
and-
bedroom synth
yeah,
pop.
it's
Yeah.
really really cool. Like bands like Plum that we have.
So
on,
good,
playing
dude.
Hope
You got me
Fest.
hooked on
Oh,
them.
they're
I haven't checked them out yet.
yeah, they're playing. Check them out. They're great. It's Jesse from Counterparts.
Oh, cool.
His new project, and yeah, they're fantastic. It's nothing like Counterparts, but like it's amazing. It's synthy dream pop sort of stuff.
Okay.
And then you have Courage My Love on it as well.
Yeah.
That's been going a lot more synth oriented and stuff, and they're absolutely killing it right now. They just dropped a new music video for teenagers.
Oh
and that's
yeah, that video's
that's-
dope,
it's
man.
so good, so good. All the like the 80s vibes, and then they do the Breakfast Club. Like that's
Nice.
awesome. It's so good.
Nice.
I was watching that and like I can't believe like they actually got to like do the joint scene in the library. I was
Oh,
like, that's amazing.
Oh, they got this
It's
kind of
like,
money.
You guys pulled that off, eh? It's so great. That's awesome.
just like, no, it's okay. It's stunt weed.
Stunt weed.
Yeah, we can light this here. Don't worry, it won't go on fire.
Tell us your tricks if you guys are listening. Brandon, Sadie's, Phoenix.
Yeah.
How'd you pull it off? How'd you smoke weed in the library?
Yeah. We want to do it all the time because we always go to libraries.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We like
need a really good sploof, man.
But yeah, that like synth sound is definitely coming back.
Yeah.
That's a big one, and the like sort of like emo shoegaze grunge sound that's been on like a steady incline, and there's a lot of bands coming out sort of in that sort of vibe, I guess, which kind of correlates pretty closely to the synth
Yeah, for sure.
resurgence. It's all within that vein, kind of, right?
Yeah.
But
Definitely the same kind of like melancholy kind of vibe.
Yeah.
With some intensity at some points.
Ever Elsewhere.
Yeah.
Those guys are awesome. Hamilton area, they're also playing Hope Fest. That shoegaze like dream sound too. I get why it's getting popular. It's
Yeah, it's
you just put it on in any mood, and it's like, yeah, this fits.
Yeah, exactly.
This works, and the math rock thing too.
Yeah, the math rock thing. Yeah, I'm surprised how much that's been like blowing up because it has this like technicality that like metal has, but
prog,
but it's all done in like this very like bright and like kind of
more
like
digestible way, I guess.
Yeah,
to
and
people that maybe aren't into like the aggressive nature of
totally,
metal.
and it just goes to show how it like it's not determined by an aesthetic thing, but it's definitely how the music presents itself. It's not like what notes they're playing and what chords they're playing. It's just
Yeah, like
at points,
Sweet Tooth and Romancer.
Yeah, those guys are
both of them are playing on Hope Fest as well, and they're like two of my favorite bands to listen to right now. I think they're like both at the 1-2 on my Spotify
I'm fucking
right
hooked
now.
on Romancer.
Yeah.
It's all thanks to you. Back in
yeah.
the day, like when we were first getting this rolling, I was like, "Hey Kyle, we're making this stupid show. We want to talk to some bands and stuff. Who should I talk to?" And you're like, just pick anybody off the Hope Fest poster.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of going through. I'm like, Romancer. That's a cool name. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll check them out. I hit them up.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we're super down to come on. I listen to their music. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah,
they're
dude, it's really well
unreal.
done,
And,
and
like,
Sweet
all-
Tooth as well.
yeah,
like they're
both
from
of
where
them.
like London.
London, yeah.
So there you go, London
Yeah,
scene.
They're fantastic. And Molly's voice is like, this like really cool, different sound, and it's like
It's just
super captivating and
characteristic.
interesting.
Yeah, it's always good to have like when you hear bands that the vocalist is like
it's not
very
something
characteristic.
that you can be like, hey, that sounds like this. It's
No, it's like very
Sweet
much
Tooth
their
is, like,
style.
it's their thing, and same with Romancer. It's like
Dude, Romancer.
both bands are mind blowing, and that's another band whose visuals are amazing. Like their Lottery music video that they just put out too is like.
Yeah, I went to that shoot. That's actually I met I think his name's Jonathan from Sweet Tooth.
Yep.
Yeah, I met him through like being at that video shoot for Lottery.
Yeah.
And it was so they put on like such an amazing like vibe for the music video to happen. They set up like a house party, and they made food for everyone, and they just kind of like
That's awesome.
yeah, they just made it super casual. Like obviously there was some like
Most
preparation.
hospitable band ever.
Yeah.
Come over
Yeah.
to our house and we'll make you food.
Yeah, exactly. They did that, and they set up, obviously there was some preparation for like the video to be shot, but they did it in a way that just like didn't make it feel forced at all, and everyone just had like a bass.
And
Yeah,
it shows in the actual visual that they released with it, right? Like
yeah, it's awesome. And who
video
did that?
just feels like a party.
The guy from like Iced Out Visuals or whatever, I think.
And I think Sadie's from
Courage
Courage My Love directed it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Yeah.
Watching them do their thing outside of like music, It's always cool to see like someone who is really good at something doing something else.
Yeah.
And they're just like doing it like they've done it forever, but you can tell it's because they've gained their confidence in this other craft that they're just like able to like nail it.
Arts are all a high five to each other, right? So
Yeah,
like,
true.
You
Yeah,
can't
true
have
saying.
one without the other. You
Yeah.
ever watch a movie without music? It doesn't work. You
Yeah.
know, like
I guess,
it
yeah,
takes
it's
the
very
whole
true.
mood away, right? And the two go hand in hand in whatever. So it's really cool to see artists
Yeah.
make the jump and be like, I want to try that. Let's see
Yeah.
what we can
And
do.
You've done that too, right? You've done like some Loser Kid stuff.
Yeah.
And so, like, how do you have you been kind of cooking that up for a while? Because I know you've been doing it like here and there, and then
Yeah,
you
it's
kind of jump in on shows. So
it's kind of like just a project that lets me express myself once in a while. It's a poetry project for anyone that doesn't know, and but I used to play in a metal band or a hardcore band or whatever, and I did vocals. So after we stopped playing music, because we got to an age where everyone's working 40 plus hours a week and got families now, and it was just becoming too much to even get together. Like finding a day was next to impossible. So I was like, I still had all these lyrics written, or like half lyrics or poems or whatever, and like I just kind of took those jot notes and finished them and turned them into something that was digestible in a sense that I could just say them and to people, and as opposed to having the whole band behind it, but still have the same sort of impact. And so far people seem to like it. They're either good liars, or they actually genuinely
I think that's what every
so.
artist thinks when they perform their stuff. You're like, everyone's like, good set. You're like, yeah,
I do some
it
punk
was a
poetry,
good
and
set.
I made somebody snap that like genuinely enjoys poetry, and I was like,
Dope.
I've heard through poetry slams that snapping is a good thing.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome, dude.
So like that whole thing, like I don't know, it was just kind of like I'm gonna try this, and
You performed the other night, right?
yeah, with Kevin and Jarrell. They came back
cool.
from they're both playing the Hope Fest house party, and they're both playing with you guys at the charity show on Thursday, correct? Yeah. Or Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin is. Yeah, because we're releasing a new song on Friday,
Dude,
and
yeah.
he's gonna be
Amazing.
featuring on it.
Danger Liker featuring Kevin, or by Kevin X.
KVNE.
Yeah, check it out.
KVNE. Yeah, man, it's gonna be cool. Like it's cool him coming from like previously from like the metal realm, and he played right after us at the 420 show.
Yeah.
And then so just kind of things started happening, and then we sent him this riff.
Metal bands.
Yeah, what was
So
it was
there's all
the
that
what was the
background.
I keep forgetting the name. It was like it has the word Oxford in it.
Wow. Now I can't even remember either.
Kevin, save us.
Kevin.
But what? Yeah, he's joining in on the song, and it's gonna be really cool. We sent this riff, and then he just like sent us like a chorus, and then went to his studio, just kept
Hell
that
yeah.
going,
Hell
and
yeah. That's super sick.
I'm super
I can't
stoked
wait to
for
hear
it.
it.
Yeah, so like
kids, you're gonna want to put it in your ears because it's gonna make you hard.
yeah, so we're gonna be playing that charity show
Ear holes. Yeah.
with.
Oh yeah. Fate's Got a Driver just
yeah.
got added to that show too.
Yeah, that's
right?
insane.
Yeah, that's not. It's Eddie from Taking Back Sunday. For anyone that doesn't know, he's coming to play Harmony Lunch with these guys for a cool charity show that they're putting on for a friend. So
yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So get your little butts over there and enjoy some music, eat some burgers.
Starts
Key.
at 7:30.
Yep.
7:30.
7:30.
Cool.
$10 cover.
$10 cover, and it all goes to a
Donated
good cause.
to Movember,
Yep.
November.
the Nut Foundation.
Yeah. Yeah, helping you get your nuts checked, man.
Yep. Get them checked.
How it is. You know how it is, man. But I mean, when it comes to like jumping over from like kind of going back to like you doing like Lose Your Kid stuff, and jumping from like having this like really solid structure of like I guess how you do things, like running shows and stuff like that, like when you put on a show where like you're in, do you I don't know, like think a different way, or do you put it on like the same way in terms of like structuring like the show, or
Oh yeah.
or
I just
you
put
ever
it
thought
on the
about
same
putting
way, kind
yeah.
of. Yeah.
not
I
like
just-
giving yourself an advantage. I don't really mean
No,
that.
no,
I
no.
just kind of mean more like do you stress about it in a different way or anything like that, just because it's like
No.
a performance based thing as opposed to like a organization.
I'm a big fan of not taking myself too seriously.
Yeah.
So
Here.
when it comes to that kind of thing, it's like I don't care. Like I don't need a microphone. I'll walk out there and just yell at people. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter to me. Like I'll do whatever. So like however my show's structured for that, it's just like all right, let's roll with it. And it's like it's no more stress for me. I know some people it's like a big deal to get out, but like I've never really had that for myself, just because it was like I go out and it's like if people like this, they like it. If they don't, they
Yeah,
don't.
I feel like
don't
it's a
give
really
shit.
tough tightrope to walk if you're putting so much pressure on yourself
Yeah,
to go out and
exactly.
perform these shows that ultimately don't really play a huge role in anything
Yeah.
the universe has going on.
Exactly. It's
And like so what if one person doesn't like it? Like, are you gonna let that crush
Exactly.
this passion that you really enjoy? Like,
Exactly.
fuck it.
Yeah, screw it. It's ultimately it's like you're doing it for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like music, art, anything. It's passion
Yeah.
that it's for, and like so fucking what if someone doesn't like it? Just do it.
For sure, yeah,
Just
man.
do it. If you're out there watching this by any chance and you're like, hey, I kind of want to try something, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf had it right.
Do
man.
it.
We have the green screen.
Oh, yeah.
You literally just make us all do it.
I like
Man.
that you have that technology.
Yeah. We need to utilize it more. We need to
Yeah,
get
we
some-
have so much cool potential here.
Yeah.
we
But
can
we
all
just
be
we
Shia
also
LaBeouf
don't
in
take
the
ourselves too
universe.
seriously. So.
Yeah, exactly.
See, it's key.
Who knows? There he is. There's
Wait.
our Shia.
When you
Yeah,
don't
a
take
green
yourself
screen
too
within a green
seriously.
screen shot.
green
How is
screen
this-
within a green screen.
How is this happening? Wait, no, we don't have a green screen. What am I talking about? This is a brick wall with neon letters behind it.
Yeah, they're really nice neon letters.
Artisanally laid bricks.
Artisanally laid bricks.
Very expensive.
Yeah.
Yo, what's the weirdest
Wow.
artisanal thing you guys have seen?
Uh,
Does he have a ponytail?
Yeah, he had a
I
weird
saw
ponytail
artisanal
thing.
firewood, which I thought was
What?
kind of weird.
So
I
just
was
like
is
wood.
Is this a joke? Like,
What does that mean? Just wood?
it was just like
chopped wood.
nice cuts
The
for the
tree was
it's
like
gonna burn
the
really
tree was
well,
massaged
like-
slowly like Wagyu beef until
No,
it fell into like nice little logs.
It was like one of those random ads that just like come up on Facebook, but it was like I don't know. I think it was rubbed in oil or something, and so it like burnt slow. And it
yeah,
was,
dude,
like, nice
exactly. It's like
cuts of
Wagyu. They
wood
fucking
and,
pour
like,
sake on the cow and
yeah.
massage it in.
It's like I don't really know. It's expensive fucking firewood. That's
so
all
ridiculous.
I know. It's like I don't know. Any tree will do.
Yeah, exactly.
Any tree with a little gasoline will burn.
Yeah. They're a little wet.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, do we have you for much longer? Do you have hair appointments you have to go cover for?
I do actually.
Okay. What time do we got you till, or do you have to go now?
Got a few more minutes.
Okay. I'm just curious. Where do you want to take Have Hope? Like, what's the next step? This has been building for a long time. I remember getting harassed
Yeah.
by you at a plaza, like, "Yo, man, come to this fucking show at the
Yo.
Schwab," and I'm like, "Kyle, I don't fucking care."
Yeah, that was back
To,
when
like-
I wasn't even the one doing the shows.
Right,
That's when I
right,
was
yeah.
flying for
probably
other
some
people. I was like,
supernova
what, like 15?
garbage.
No, it was probably Arc or Team Bloodshed.
no, it definitely would have
'cause-
been Arc at the
'cause
time.
To be honest, without those dudes, I wouldn't be here.
True.
So like those guys like are to thank.
So you went from there.
Yeah, I went
To
to
here.
there to doing my own shows to doing my own shows 3 times a week, and I don't know. For me, I would love to have my own space.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
Yeah.
that would be my own thing, like something 200.
Is that realistic? Is that something that you could pull off
Sure,
potentially?
I don't see why not. I think so. It's just a matter of like jumping the gun and doing it. You know.
Sure.
It's like,
Yeah, it's
a-
kinda
a-
weird getting
that
into
kind of
ventures like
leap
that.
It's a scary leap. Like you look at bars and restaurants; they have the highest fail rates of
Mhm.
any
Yeah.
business ventures,
Mhm.
right? Like so, it's
Food
like
industry is hard to get in. Food and service industry is hardest to get into
But
Oh,
the
for
exactly.
sustainable
So
business.
can be
anyone
so
that does
tasty
it, like
too.
Yeah.
kudos.
You
to
gotta
anyone
have
that's
that
made
angle.
that
That's why they
jump.
have things like the ping pong bar and like
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. There's
See, I
always
just
that
want to
weird
be a live
arcade
music,
bar.
all ages venue for developing acts.
Yeah.
That would be my dream if I could do that and like.
If anybody could
have
pull
that
it off,
sustain
you would be the
itself,
guy
that
though.
would be
Like
great.
there's so many establishments that open up and it's like they have no roots in the community. It's just
Yeah.
like some guy was like, "Yeah, people like cheeseburgers and fries, right? Yeah, I got the perfect fucking idea." And then they just open up some shithole and it fucking closes in like 6 months.
Why did my burger sell? Probably because there's 3 other people down the street.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I like to think that too. I would hope I could.
I believe in you.
It's big though. It's a big jump. So I mean,
Yeah.
like, end game, right?
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
I hope so one day. And I love just doing what I do too. Like doing what I do gives me the versatility. Like every once in a while, to throw a show in Guelph with Nick Weaver or in Brantford with Jamie Mittendorf,
Mhm.
and do
Yeah.
something cool and do something different. And like I'm not locked into any one space right now, which is a neat thing. But I mean, in order to make it like a thing that I could dedicate full time energy to, I think the only logical thing would be have a space.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it totally makes sense to me.
Yeah, so that's the goal.
Cool.
I don't know if it would be called Have Hope. It's kind of a weird name.
Weird
for a
bar
venue.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see one day. One day. We'll figure it out.
Hell yeah. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we let you out of this cage?
Come to Hope Fest. Come check out any local show that we do. Check out the local bands first and foremost, whether you come to our show or not. Go look up the bands that play our shows. Google them. Find their music. Listen to it. Maybe you'll find something you like.
Yeah. And Fucked Up is playing Hope Fest, remember.
And Fucked Up is playing Hope Fest because I can't say it anywhere else. Fucked up.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Remember, that's FUCKED space UP.
Dope. Well, thanks for coming out, Kyle.
Thank you guys for having me.
We love having
man.
you. We
Yeah.
hope you come
Love
back
being here. This is fun.
all the time.
The most fun.
Okay. Well,
Peace.
peace.